The chain of events that led to this moment began with my error. When out of mercy I confined you here. Now I break it, and leave no trace of you behind. This is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. Even a cast-off would uphold his pride, though such an impulse must speak to the overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Abyssos shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of Lahabrea once I fulfill Athena's ambition and bring Antonius' dream to life. You speak as if you care a whit for the boy. Why then do you cower behind him? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see the world destroyed if it means she could find hers in the ruins. As for Antonius, he knows not what his wish would beget, a truth which you have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and manipulate? My wish? You would claim the name Abyssos and call yourself his father, yet you bind his mind and body in dark chains. Your words and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and she desires to return there. What wickedness is there mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Antonius beyond how he could serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but it's plain you're no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed my sole mission in life would be to guide the star true. In service to that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son, so an entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice I bear the responsibility. Yet he's still my son, and do not suffer you to seduce him with false hope. You who are naught but the bitter dregs of Athena and I, the very worst of us. Mother? She? No, then who? How do I... Come back to us. I hear you. I owe you and Temith an apology. Athena, did you ever? And Lahabrea, I will have my say. How? His mind was mine! I can't explain. Desiree's words reached me through the haze. They rang loud and clear. As did the words of another, in a voice much like yours, but resounding with truth. How? When did you master these bonds? Oh, we've endured much worse. You worthless, you... Ah! It appears my failures have borne fruit after all. You did well, son. Where are we? With Abyssos' essence contained in this crystal, we may safely return Erectonius above. But you would bind Abyssos with only half his senses intact. You quite understated his adeptness in the art of internment. It was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise nonetheless. I feel no trace of Abyssos' poison in your mind. And for a blessing, it appears your body is none the worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I no longer sense Abyssos, and the force assailing Pandemonium's barriers have ceased. Are we rid of him for good and all? Erectonius sealed him. Well, Erectonius and Lahabrea. I see. Despite his muddled senses, Erectonius felt that to seal Abyssos away was the proper course. It wasn't so noble as that. I only knew something had to be done, so I acted. Lahabrea, was that how you've dealt with Abyssos in the past? Indeed, he was not but a part of my memory and soul that I had cut away, a mass of aether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On the matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale of Abyssos' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if from under the rail of a deep pool. Mother wished to use me? I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all. Even the other members of the Words of Lahabrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research was she, that it was not unheard of for her to forget meals or even sleep. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge, and it was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, while we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. such limitations were not meant to surpass, she sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entailed, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, her thought would be an idle fancy considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As leader of the worlds of Lahabrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From an academic perspective, a challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings that I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with a creation. The weaknesses of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the results could be something greater than we have ever imagined. Although it was but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Our conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was born not soon after? Just so. I believed she bore true affection for me and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandemonium was built and she requested to lead the researchers, I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside our relationship, her accomplishment as a scholar made her the obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandemonium, I also gave her free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she could devise. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her? I made haste to Pandemonium the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I left Abyssos to keep watch from Tartarus' vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'tis best to see with your own eyes. Is that me? Yes. You are well aware that out of respect for our neighbors in Abyssos, the researchers of Pandemonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick you are to rebuke me, though you yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this from myself and Abyssos forever. As well you know that I cannot allow it to continue. I shall say it but once. Release Erectonios, else I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I will have you know the whys of it. Then you will not desist? Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping was never an option. The feelings for one weigh little against the needs of the entire star. Of course, of that I'm well aware. But you did not deign to descend from your lofty height simply to lecture me as you would a child. You have an interest in my motivations. What possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother to the son of a great Lahabrea, to embark upon the path to her downfall? History will demand an answer, but it is you who deserves one. Give me your hand, Lahabrea, and we shall know each other more deeply than ever before. Impossible. You bonded your souls? Aye, that the boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment my mind was a storm of questions, yet one roared the loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? I'm become thee, memory and mind. And I thee. Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. A fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquenchable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains. When it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption in my soul ere your rotten inside spreads. It was my weakness that let this wickedness fester, but never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion and abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was, and live only as Lahabrea. Must I therefore forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal? Never did I think I would one day face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions bordered on insanity. To go to such lengths to escape your memories? You nearly rewrote your very existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Igeom and Emmett Selk in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. As well they should have. That you escaped with your life was nothing short of a miracle. Why didn't you destroy this crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. crystal was my sole recourse should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures and prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. Hephaestus doubtless believed he was performing his duty as a husband and father should, yet in truth, he was but a puppet being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He only thought of seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet for all of that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw, you see. Our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. While I was enthralled to Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does Lahabrea speak true? Yes, I think so. And now it's your turn to do the same. I just want to know one thing. Did you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me, even knowing how I felt about my mother? The Lahabrea I know had the fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I said all that I can say. Now it is for you to choose to believe me or not. The Lahabrea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano and place my fickle emotions in his path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtless don that mask once more. So before we climb out of this forsaken pit, I suppose I should say... Thank you, Hephaestus. Hephaestus was far more than an imitation of Lahabrea. He was quite literally a part of him. But Lahabrea to me is a man who thinks of naught but his duty. By casting aside the burden that Hephaestus represented, he shall become ever more himself in a way. I've said all that needs to be said. From this moment forward I pledge that my heart shall not lead me astray. I've heard enough. There's more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to Pandemonium's gates. I'll gather my thoughts on the way. We have regained complete control of the facility, but it shall take some time yet until things are in working order again. Athena viewed Erectonius as the ideal test subject. Hephaestus' research must have been very nearly complete to seek him out like he did. I owe you an apology, Desiree. It was due to my own experience that Hephaestus was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Firmus hadn't chosen to brave the chaos occurring in Pandemonium, then I would never have known Lahabrea's story. My father's story. It was a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I very much look forward to speaking with Azam upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much of this she foresaw. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Elizabeth. So long as we retain control of Pandemonium, there's work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the remaining warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartarus, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. That is well, but I must yet learn why I was considered the key to Hephaestus' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. Such questions are best left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. And I intend to destroy the crystal containing Hephaestus' essence, that this mistake never again repeats. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. Is it a matter of your crystal, however? To be told I had not considered its origin until I saw the one containing Hephaestus' effort. I was struck by how wholly different they were. There was another. Yes, a crystal with a message guided me here. While imbuing a crystal with memories is a simple process, storing a message, a warning even, would be something altogether more complex. This also means that someone besides the present company and Asm was aware of a plot unfolding within Pandemonium. Then why would they not make themselves known even now? No threats remain. Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. The task may take some time, a resource I'd rather not steal more of from you. Return at your leisure and we will share our results then. You've done more than enough for the time being. I'm of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us and continue upon your journey, or if you're so inclined, take a much-needed repose. This talk of journey smacks of Asm. As well it should. She has pledged to keep moving until she has seen every corner of the world. If you do find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring that crystal of yours to Lahabrea. You may be able to offer further insight. And when, my friend? I look forward to returning with a crystal, but why not? I shall try my level best to stave off loneliness while you're gone. As you may have noticed during our battle, Lahabrea's mask crowns me when I've transformed. It's said we manifest in a way that reflects our innermost selves. I thought that mask a symbol of a chain so it bound my heart, but recent events have caused me to reconsider that assumption. The crystal that hangs from Erectonius' waist was a gift from me, made in the hopes that it would spark growth in his aptitude for magic. 'Tis plain he no longer requires it, but I see no reason he cannot wear it for a while longer. This one here. Good, and with that we return to Charlian and Aporia. Why, if it isn't Desiree! Excuse me for my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. You see, communications with the Asher Professor Claudian commissioned for his search was lost some time ago, and now we have quite lost track of where he might be. And to make matters worse, Namjiji has just sent word of an unusually large amount of aether coming from somewhere within the Aetherius Sea. I was just on my way to the Itiascope, in fact. Please, you must come with me. What? This is new? What is that? Is that real? Why is it whenever danger visits the world, you are never far behind? And you two, Professor Claudian's assistants, I take it? As you arrived before me, I take it you are involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. This looks a lot like the entrance to Pandemonium. While the research summary submitted to the forum gave us no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last matches indicated that he was on his way to Abyssos, but we know not whether he ever reached his destination. A rash endeavor even for Claudian, but he has ever allowed the thrill of discovery to cloud his better judgment. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid and search for him. As for that unsightly fortress is materialized in the Ethereal Sea, Pandemonium was it? It cannot be left alone. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled as to minimize panic. We will gather those with knowledge of the Ethereal Sea and continue monitoring it for further irregularities. You two, submit a detailed report to the forum at once. At present, we have far more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance at such a time that our investigation is concluded. Very good. Now, if you will excuse me, I must apprise the forum of what has occurred here. Just when we need him the most, Professor Claudian remains unaccounted for. He even brought the crystal with him. We are left with scarce few straws to grasp at. While I am but a lowly assistant, even I can see that our two current problems are likely related. The same party or phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I see now that my unexperienced imagination failed to do Pandemonium's pitiless aspires justice. I can only wonder, if the facility itself traversed the ages, did the creations within do the same? What are the keywords? But answers to these questions shall come in time, I'm sure. For now, I must do as Master Fortuno asked and write that report. As for you, Desiree, pray get what rest your responsibilities will allow. The next we call upon you, I wager we shall need you in prime condition. Okay, and with that we finish Abyssos, the second part of Pandemonium. And I end this episode here. Until next time when we not continue here but do something else. Whatever it will be. Yeah, until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.